Hey, good morning, friends. It's Carl. Welcome to the bathroom. Sunday morning, time for the Silky Smooth Sunday Shave. Hope everybody had a great week. Mine was pretty okay. All right, well, let's get going. It's about 6:45, so got to get moving. Things to do, church to go to. Coffee, as always, this morning, brought to you by Hallmark Baptist Church, where everybody's somebody and Jesus is Lord. Coffee of the morning is French market coffee with chicory mixed with 50% 100% Colombian, made via pour over. All right, so today's shave is going to be for a new viewer who posted in the comments of my last video with questions about using a Shavette. So I'm going to do a tutorial overview, tips and tricks. Not that I'm really qualified to do this. I'm just a guy in my bathroom who uses one occasionally and doesn't die. So, so what are we using? He said he has a Classic Samurai, so I'm going to use that today. It's got a brand new PermaSharp in it. Soap is the standard soap that I've been using for the past 4 months. PAA Colonel Conk. And brush is Son of a Sailor Boar brush. So, Clint Evans, I believe was his name. This one is for you, my friend. I hope to help in some way. Hope this helps you. Also, he's a fellow Texan, so yeehaw. Anyway, so first things first, make sure your face and your beard is nice and wet, prepped as you are first learning. The softer your stubble, the better. I've got about 48 hours worth of growth. And then for your soap, wetter is better is kind of one of the key phrases. Everybody thinks you need a big cushion, but for straights and shavettes, a little thinner soap with a little bit more slickness will be your friend. And before you get started with any of this, the first thing you really need to do is figure out how your beard grows so that you can know which direction is with, against, and across the grain. And then that being said, I would say don't be in a hurry, take your time. And don't be in a hurry to get to a full face shave. Take it in chunks. One of the biggest mistakes that I made when I was first shavetting was going too fast and then trying to do a whole face shave in one shave right out of the bat. A lot of guys who are really experienced with straights and shavettes will tell you just do your cheeks to start with until you get kind of your technique and your confidence level up. Because the first couple times you do it, it's nerve-wracking for sure. I remember the first time I did my Shavette shave, it's actually on video, and I cut myself within the first couple of strokes. So yeah, so know how your beard grows. Get a nice cushiony lather on nice prepped stubble. If you are so inclined, don't be afraid to use a pre-shave, like a pre-shave cream or oil. That helps too to kind of mitigate some of the irritation when you're first starting out. I did that a lot. All right. And so this lather is actually nice and peaky. It's probably a little thick. But this is how I like my lathers. And this is actually a little thinner than some guys would consider. So nice peaky lathers, or nice moist lather. Excuse me. Goodness. Wow. All right. So, razor grip. Some people like this. Some people like this. You have to play around and figure out what works for you. This is the grip that I use. Make sure your hands are nice and dry. Stretch your skin, and this helps also once you figure out how your beard grows, which direction or how you're going to be pulling on your skin. Some people like to use a little bit of alum on their fingertips to give them some gription. I'm not a big fan of that, but that's just me. Alright, so get a little stretch on your skin. Take your razor and put it flat on your face. Kick it up to about 15 to 30 degrees. The shallower the better when you're first starting. And then go slow. Nice, easy, slow strokes. One thing that I think beginners who watch YouTube videos may try, I know I kind of tried it when I first started too, was taking these big long strokes because you see guys do it. I would suggest shorter feathering strokes, nice and easy. You're in no hurry, and remember, no pressure. Let the weight of the blade do the cutting. Don't push into your face. Nice, easy, gentle strokes. To kind of flatten out your cheeks, you can either pull, or you'll see a lot of guys do this. Flattens out the skin. And you hit the jawline, and you're done. And then once you get comfortable doing that stroke, that pass, same thing on the other side. Some guys like to switch hands, some guys like to use the same hand. I personally would recommend learning how to do it with your opposite hand, because the cross hand technique is a little tricky. You see guys like Matti Lindholm who uses one hand for the entire shave, and he does it like a champ. But I'm sure he's had plenty of practice to get to where he is with that. All right, and I would say for the first handful of shaves, stop there with the grain, cheeks only, until you kind of get comfortable with the razor in your hand. You probably try your mustache. Mustache could be a little tricky because you've got to come in and then scoop out. But always remember, nice gentle touch. Will serve you well. And there you go. That would be what I would consider a beginner's first pass. Now, as you become more advanced and want to move on, when you get to the jawline, what I find helps is if you stretch up, because you're pulling the skin up so that you don't have to come down across the jaw quite so much. See, and I've already cleared all the way to past the crook of the neck. Chin, kind of the same thing. No, I have an advantage because I have a goatee, so there's less to shave. If you want to watch how to shave your chin, I would say look for guys like who don't have goatees. Nomeo, Caleb, McCullough, Matti Lindholm. Caleb and Matti are very advanced shavers. So take that with a grain of salt. Just look for their technique and try and emulate it. Frank Stromberg's got some videos, some good videos on how to shave the neck and the chin. And if you are on Facebook, in the It's Just Shaving Facebook group, Dave Card, who is a Shavette master, he can knock out a 5-minute Shavette shave. But he has a goatee. But he's got a file that if you ask him, he will pass on to you. That is Shavette Tips and Tricks. A very good document. It may even be posted in the links or so in the files, but it's been a while since I looked. All right, so then the crook of the neck, kind of the same thing. You don't have to do too much because you've stretched the skin and you've navigated the jawline. And that's it. Now for me, my growth changes at the crook of the neck. So then I come up. Once again, nice, gentle, easy strokes with about a 15 to 30 degree angle. And that's your first pass. And I would say, like I said, take your time, try that. Just work on the cheeks, getting the stretching and the feel of the razor in your hand down. Nice, slow, easy strokes. And I would say try that for a handful of shaves until you feel comfortable, and then you can continue with the grain, which for most guys is kind of down. Along the chin or along the jawline and the neck. And then you're ready for the next. Oh, I missed a spot right there, see? All right, very nice first pass. That's that, Mr. Evans. I hope that's helpful. Once you get that down, then you can move on to the next. You can add a little water to your face if you like. I cheat because I have my goatee so it collects soap. So I just kind of rub it in. Back to the brush. Rinse off your hands. Make sure they're nice and dry. Now for the next pass, which is going to be across the grain. Let me get a sip of coffee. I feel like my camera's too high. Let me see if I can adjust this without it falling. That's a little bit better. All right, so now for across the grain, which for me is up. Stretch down at the neck. Same principle, just come up to the angle. For a lot of guys, this is the third pass. This is against the grain, but for me, it is across. And if this is your against the grain pass, you may not need to do it, or you may not want to for a while, because it can be irritating until you get used to it, especially until you get your technique down. And it took me a very long time to get to where I get little to no razor burn. So just be aware of that. It takes practice, Stick with it, you'll get the hang of it all. Another big thing that helped came from a gentleman named Ronnie. He's got some good YouTube videos out. He hasn't posted one in a while, I don't believe. But instead of thinking about cutting whiskers, just think about scraping lather off your face. That way it keeps you from putting too much pressure. And it kind of gives you a goal. That way you're not digging in, trying to overshave. But you're just trying to get the lather off of your face. See, I nicked myself. It happens. Like I said, I am by far not a professional. I saw that you also posted the same question to Nomeo. And that's good. Learn from a lot of different guys. Everybody does it a little bit differently. There you go. Second pass is done. Very nice. I got one little nick. One question specifically that you asked was about the corners of the blades. I had problems with that early on too. One thing that you can do is grab a coffee cup or a glass and just run the corner of the blade across the bottom. That mutes that edge. That way you don't catch yourself with the corners. I did that for a while. That was a good tip that I caught from Caleb McCullough. Now, this last pass for me is against the grain. Like I said, most guys don't do the against the grain pass. Or you don't have to. It can be an area of irritation, especially when you're first starting out. And this technique that I'm using is something that I picked up from Adventures in Wet Shaving, Eric over at Adventures in Wet Shaving. He calls it the half pass. I call it the inverted pass because for me the razor is almost, I'm holding it almost upside down. But this is against the grain for me. So I come across the face, and for a lot of guys this is across the grain. And then the problem comes in as you hit the bottom here, the jawline, and you can't really do much more with the blade. So I turn it over and come across like this. Allows me to get lower in the jawline coming across the face. And I make a double chin so that it opens up the neck a little bit too. Yeah, I saw some blood. And that's that. Same thing on the other side. Now for this across motion here, some guys use the same hand and push it across. For me, I find it's a little bit easier to drag it across using the opposite hand. Like I said, everybody's different. Everybody has a different amount of comfort with their manual dexterities. there it is. I never do a third pass on my mustache. You'll see some guys do the fool's pass. They may do another down. I don't do it. It really gives me irritation. So after I've done the inverted pass, I have this little ditch in my neck. And then I try and come across both ways in kind of a V motion because my hair grows straight across and there's no way to shave it. This was a little trick I picked up from Frank Stromberg, the shark. And there you have it, one silky smooth Shavette tutorial. Let me get rinsed off. That's it. I got a little nick here. It happens. Chris, I hope that was helpful. Those are kind of the tips and tricks I have. Ask around. I know you've been doing it. Everybody's got a few different ideas and thoughts. Those are the basic ones, the ones that I picked up while I was learning. My biggest thing is take it slow. Biggest advice, I should say. Take it slow. Don't be afraid to get too cut. It happens. And stick with it, and you'll get there. Just take your time. You can do it. You know, I thought I would never be able to do it, and there were guys on YouTube who would watch my first videos, and they were real supportive. You know, they said if you just, and they told me basically the same thing. Just stick with it, and you'll get it. And I did. Now, all that being said, if you start to get frustrated with it, you've had a handful of shaves, and it's just not, you don't feel like you're progressing, things, you know, and you're getting frustrated, put it down. Go back to your old shaving method, DE, whatever it is. Put it down for a couple, 2-3 weeks, a month. Pick it up and try again, and you'll find that sometimes that second time, that break will help you get past that frustration and move you forward. So don't be afraid to put it down too. Just remember always to pick it up eventually. All right, guys, it's about 23 minutes in. I'm not gonna knock out, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do this head shave right quick. See if I can get all this done in under 30 minutes. I know 30 minutes is a long time. You guys have better things to do on Sunday. There's plenty of weekend left to go enjoy instead of sitting here watching me shave and blather on about stuff. But I hope that was actually like the first real tutorial I did. I know in one of the Facebook groups a while back, we did like a week of tutorials and everybody kind of did a little quick video with tips and tricks. If those files are still out there, those would be good to watch too, Chris. I think It's Just Shaving has a YouTube page. Nomeo, if that page is still up, will you comment? Or anybody who knows, will you comment in the comments? Because like I said, I know about 5 or 6 guys, we did a week's worth of shaving tutorials for different types of razors, and it was pretty informative. I had picked up some tricks from that set of tutorials too. So, and you get to see different guys do different things, so it was helpful. All right, head blade, ATX. I don't know how many uses I got on this blade. A gajillion. A lot of guys have been shaving with the cartridge razors lately, face and or head. You guys know I am a big fan of the head blade, but I am also a big fan of just cartridge razors for the head. I don't like DE head shaves. They take too long. They're just cumbersome in my opinion. Everybody's different. But DE head shaves are not for me. I think the cartridge is just faster, more efficient, less cumbersome. I'm not saying it's that you can't nick yourself, but it is also, there's less chance of it because of the orientation of the blades. And I feel like I just get a better shave with it, so I will always use some type of cartridge. And I've done a few Shavette shaves on the head, and that, while that's interesting and fun, it's terrifying to me, and probably not something I'll do too much more of. More power to all you guys that do it, though. I mean, it's impressive for sure. Now that being said, I use the head blade, and it's a gimmick. I mean, I don't know how much easier it honestly it makes the shave, but I've used them since like 2006, off and on, and I enjoy it. So yeah, but like I said, it's essentially a cartridge razor with just a little race car handle. So, but for a long time, and I was buying the store brand 3-blade cartridge razors, disposable cartridge razors. I mean, like, not even the ones that you could replace the blades in. You threw the whole thing away, you know. And I got great shaves out of them, and I could knock out a head shave in like 5 minutes. So there's something to be said about that. Should have went back to the brush. Not that it's dry or not slick at all, because the soaps are good. But I just looked down and I still got a lot of soap in the brush. I don't want to waste it. So we'll go back to the brush. What else, man? I didn't talk about myself. Oh gosh, I don't know. No. No, that's funny. No, it was good, man. I hope that tutorial was helpful. Like I said, I'm by far anything from a professional, but it is very flattering and humbling that somebody would ask for my advice, because I remember being the guy watching the YouTube videos, trying to figure all this stuff out, and watching guys who are ridiculously skilled knock out face shaves with straight razors and shavettes in like 10-15 minutes. And gosh, when I first started, you know, it would take me forever. And even today, when I see guys like Dave Card and some others who've done them as challenges, but Dave Card does it on a regular basis. I think that's his daily shave routine. I mean, he does a Shavette shave in five minutes or so, you know, and it's just impressive. It's a great community. There's a lot of guys willing to teach and give tips, so don't be afraid to ask. But I definitely am, like I said, am humbled that someone would look to me for advice. I even got a comment in one of my videos the other day, and it was, somebody commented, "Man, you make it look so easy." And I remember, like I said, I just remember starting out and watching guys, thinking to myself, and even making that exact same comment on videos, it's like, gosh, how do you do it? You make it look so easy. And so I never thought in a million years that I would be at that point, but I guess it looks like I know what I'm doing. So it's very humbling, and it's cool. I mean, it's cool. It's a little bit of an ego boost, I ain't gonna lie, but it is also still very humbling that I've got people fooled that that I know what I'm doing. Anyway, cut the fat on the back of the head. Yeah, like I watch Shave and Butcher, and you know, when he had his beard and he was doing his head shaves with his straight razors, whew, good night. That kind of stuff still amazes me. All right. Alan Block. I just got a notification. Trevi B posted a video. Watch that when I get home from church. Little tingles on the face. That classic samurai is not my smoothest shaver for whatever reason. A lot of guys love it, and I don't. I love it too, but sometimes it does not love me. And I think it's the PermaSharp blades. Those blades are always a little rough for my sensitive skin. Speaking of sensitive skin, AquaVelva 3-in-1. Man, just over 30 minutes. Thought I could do it, but the tutorial slowed me down just a tad. But that's okay. That's the shave. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. I hope your Sunday is restful and enjoyable. Hope the upcoming week treats you well. No matter what you do, go spend some time with your friends and family because it is really important. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my coffee, finish getting dressed, and I'm going to head off to church. Have a great Sunday. Thanks for spending some time with me. I appreciate all your support. We'll see you next time. God bless.